Good afternoon, traders. It is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, and the U.S. stock market is closed. I'm sorry I'm getting it to this really late again. Busy day for me. I just can hardly get everything done. I just am working all the time. But anyway, yes, we had a profitable day today, but it was frustrating because even when we make profits, but I see much larger profits slip away from us, it ends up feeling like a losing day, and that's kind of what happened today. You can see here with the Dow, the pattern here, we had 15 positions coming in with positive $12,000 on the close yesterday. We get this huge gap up in the Dow, and it keeps moving like it's going to the moon. And then it kind of flattens out, and then we get this big sell-off at the end of the day, last hour, and that's what really hurt us. Officially, the Dow closed up 133 points, but this is what the statistics look like. We had 15 positions coming in. Because of this gap up, we ended up with 4 fantastic holdovers. And so we didn't get rid of those. And we ended up closing out like 11 of those positions. And those positions we closed out total positive $14,000. Then we got into 20 new positions, or 16 new positions, plus the 4 holdovers, for a total of 20 positions. Only 6 of those are positive, 14 were negative, but we're still, because of those 4 holdovers were so good, we're positive over $16,000 in our open trade. So officially the statistics are we closed out $14,000 in our closeout trades, and we're carrying over $16,000 going into tomorrow. On the surface, that sounds really good, but here's the problem. This is why I'm not feeling so good. When this thing first gapped up this morning, we had over $60,000 in open trade equity. And if I'd only known what was going to happen, I would have pulled the plug right there, taken those profits, shut down the computers, and gone fishing. That's not our system. But because I did not do that, we only closed out 14,000, and we're holding 16,000 positive right now. But look at this pattern. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Well, if you're a chart reader, you're going to say this thing's going to open lower. But this thing is so unpredictable and whipsaw-like, you know, it could open higher, and we could end up getting out of those positions pretty well. But I'm not feeling real good about it. Let me show you 3 of the stocks that kind of can show you what was going on today. This first one is Hovnanian Enterprises. This is HOV. You've heard me talk about this a lot, and I've just praised this stock up and down because it's been so profitable for us. But today it wasn't profitable. It was horrible. We got the gap with the Dow gapping up. Hovnanian gaps up too. We end up buying nearly the high tick of the day, and it just sells off all day long. And we're holding negative, almost $9,000 negative in Hovnanian Enterprises. And we had 2 other stocks very similar to this, CHK, which is Chesapeake Energy, and BRZU, which is a Brazil stock market. And both those had very similar patterns to this. The negatives weren't quite so bad, but they were pretty bad. So it's those big negatives that really pulled down our open trade equity, and our open trade equity would be very negative were it not for those 4 holdovers that we had. And let me show you two of those anyway that were really good. This first one is one I've shown you before. It's W, which is Wayfair. We got into this yesterday about middle of the day, and look at this gap. I mean, this gap is just right to the sky almost. It did pull back a little, but not very much. Not very much. And we are holding $13,800 in Wayfair. That's a really nice looking trade. We will exit that tomorrow almost with certainty. And then finally the big one, I mean, this was a huge surprise. This was AKBA, which is Akebia Therapeutics. And we had bought this yesterday right out of the gate. Really didn't do too much for us yesterday by the close. Didn't look like anything to get excited with. And then look at this monstrous gap up, and it held up all day. I mean, this close is pretty darn close to the high. We are up $21,000 in Akebia Therapeutics. And yeah, so we had these really great holdover stocks, and that's what has given us a positive over 16,000 in open trade. But boy, that open trade was really getting pulled back by those bad stocks like Hovnanian Enterprises. So we got a kind of a mixed bag. Let's just hope we can get some kind of decent open tomorrow and get out of this stuff and take some profits in it. This is Trader Bob signing off. See you tomorrow on Wednesday.